Today, we're going to talk comic book speculation as the rumor mill heats up that Namor is coming to the MCU. So let's get started. I'm Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. Before we jump into the spec talk this week, if you're not subbed up to the channel already, go ahead and hit that subscription button right now. Turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video, and leave a comment below and let me know if there's some other Namor type books that I need to be looking for. Love for the discussion to happen in the chat, and we can all kind of learn from each other. So last week there was an alert on the Key Collector app that there's a bunch of online I guess bloggers or reporters that reported that Namor is indeed coming to the MCU, and he is going to show up in Black Panther #2. So the speculation really kind of started with Namor at the end of Endgame when Okoye mentioned underwater earthquakes. Now recently the Hollywood Reporter wrote that Tenoch Huerta, and if you've ever watched this channel, you just got to look past my hillbilly and these different names, specifically Hispanic names or anything that's not Fred or Bob, I have a hard time saying. So Tenoch Huerta is in place to play the villain, but the role is unconfirmed. It's also rumored that a young Namor will be introduced in the Eternals TV series, played by Zayn al-Rafih. Yeah, Raif. R-A-F-I-H. I'm going to put a picture up here so you know who I'm talking about. In addition to Namor, there is talk that Namora and Atuma will also play a part in Black Panther 2. So let's talk just a little bit about who Namor is. Namor is a fictional character that appeared in American comic books published by Marvel. He debuted in 1939, and the character was created by writer-artist Bill Everett for comic book packager FUNNIES Inc. So what I'm going to do today is, I realized this is just my second comic book kind of speculation video, and I realized last week when I did the video for Loki that I really enjoy the history of kind of going back and looking through these books and seeing the history of how this character kind of developed through the comic books. So that's going to be what a lot of this is, and kind of give you an idea on prices and some of the key books that feature Namor. I'm also going to hit towards the end of the video Atura and Namora. So the first book on our list today is the Motion Pictures Funny Weekly #1. Now this is the first appearance and origin of Namor the Submariner. It's also the first appearance of American Ace. Only 9 copies are actually known to exist. This comic was intended to be a giveaway at a movie theater, but it never went into full production. So this book, along with probably the first 2 or 3 that I'm going to talk about, are probably books that I'll never own unless they're in like a 0.5 or, you know, just a really banged up copy. Now, I went to Key Collector and found a lot of these books, and they, you know, if you've ever been on the Key Collector app, you know that it gives you kind of like a high, medium, low price. So the high price on this book, Motion Picture Funny Weeklies #1, only 9 in existence. The high is $33,000. The mid, $14,000, and the low is $4,500. So that's probably a book that I'm never going to purchase. If there's only 9 that are actually known to be in existence, it's probably not a book I'm ever going to own, but it's still cool to know that's where Namor originally started. So the next book was Marvel Comics #1, and this is the one that people, I guess, truly consider the first appearance and origin of Namor. You also get the first appearance of the Human Torch, Jim Hammond, in this book. Now the first appearance and origin of Namor is in here, like I said, but it's reprinted from the Motion Picture Funny Weeklies #1. It was the first comic book published by Timely, later that would become Marvel. Now this is kind of the granddaddy of the books, right? And a high grade in this book is listed at $285,000. A mid grade is $75,000, and a low grade is $25,000. So this is a true Golden Age book from 1939, and the first appearance of Namor, and that is apparently when one goes on the market, it's like an event. There's just so few out there, so few go on the market for sale. So yeah, definitely a book that I will never own, but still a cool book nonetheless. All right, so then you've got Marvel Mystery Comics #2, and this is the second appearance of Namor, the second appearance and origin of the Human Torch, the second appearance of American Ace, and the high price on this book is $53,000, the mid price $10,000, and the low $3,400. So yeah, another book I'm probably not going to own. Then you've got Marvel Mystery Comics #3. That's the third appearance of Namor, third appearance of the Human Torch, and the first appearance of Betty Dean. You've got a high price on this at $32,000, a mid at $6,200, and a low of $2,000. So maybe a low grade of that book, maybe something I can maybe afford, maybe you could afford. Then you've got Marvel Mystery Comics #4, which is actually the first cover appearance of the Submariner, and it's the first appearance of the Nazi flag on a timely cover. It's also got the first appearance of Electro, but it's a robot Electro in this book. And you got the high value at $32,000, mid $6,200, and a low grade copy at $2,000. So that cover, you know, which I popped it up here, I love these old Golden Age covers. It's actually something I have a passion for as far as really kind of studying those and seeking them out just to see what they look like. The art back then amazes me, the fact that they could make books look like this. I just love them. Then you've got Marvel Mystery Comics #8. And this is actually the first battle of the Human Torch and Namor. High price on this one's $21,000, mid copy at $4,000, and a low at $1,400. So again, a low grade copy could be in my future. You never know. Now, one of my favorite covers, and this is Submariner Comics #1, and this is actually the first Submariner comic book solo title. And the high grade on it is $75,000, mid $9,000, and a low $2,500. But I 100% dig that cover. I think that is just beautiful. And another cover that I really love, this is the Marvel Mystery Comics #82, and you get the first appearance and origin of Namora. And this is the first team up of Submariner and Namora as well. This is a little more affordable book, a high grade $3,400, a mid grade $820, and a low grade at $270. And you've got Submariner #33. This one is the origin of Namor from Marvel Comics #1 retold with additional details. And this one's at a high value of $800, a mid $265, and a low of $80. Now, you kind of jump into the Silver Age here with Fantastic Four #4. And this is the first appearance of the Submariner in the Silver Age. And it's also the first time that the Human Torch activates his powers while shouting, "Flame on." So that's cool, right? Yeah, flame on. And the Human Torch lights up. So you got a high value on this one at $12,000, a mid at $4,000, and a low at $760. Then you've got Uncanny X-Men #6, and this is the third appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Mastermind, and Toad. Namor is confirmed to be a mutant in this issue, making him the first mutant to appear in Marvel Comics. And that was actually something I didn't know until I started doing this research. I've always been kind of a Namor fan, or I dug the character, but I didn't realize that he was the first mutant, I guess reported mutant in comics. So that's kind of cool. So high value on this one, or high sell on this one, $1,200, mid $400, and the low $120. And then you've got the Fantastic Four #33, which is the first appearance of Atuma, who's also rumored to be in Black Panther #2. The high value on this one is $615, mid $210, and the low $30. And then you've got Tales to Astonish #70, and this is a solo story featuring Namor the Submariner. It's also the first appearance of King Neptune with his trident, and you got a high sale on this one of $140, mid $40, and low $12. And then probably the one book, I guess, that maybe is the most obtainable, or that you see most people seeking out, is Submariner #1. and that is the first Namor solo series in the Silver Age, and it also retells the origin of Namor. As I said earlier, actor Tenoch Huerta reportedly is confirmed to play Namor in Black Panther 2, but that is not confirmed as of yet. High value on this one, $1,800, mid $800, low $200. So that's a book for me that what I would consider that a Grail is a book I'd really like to have, and it's one I don't have. And it is a book that I'll probably seek out. Of course, right now with the rumor that he's, maybe going to be in Black Panther 2, those values will go up, of course. But that is a book that I'm seeking out, and I hope to find out in the wild someday. Invaders number 20 is our next book, and that is the first full appearance of the second Union Jack, Brian Fallsworth. There's a backup story, and how it, I guess, applies to Namor's. There's a backup story reprinting Namor's first appearance from the Motion Picture Funnies Weekly number 1. High grade in this one, or high value in this one's $18, mid grade $5, and a low grade $1. So that's a fairly affordable book, and you can get that original story. So that's Invaders number 20. Then you've got Defenders number 84. And this is actually the first battle of Namor and the Black Panther. And there's been a big spike in sales in this book, 633% increase in copies sold versus previous weeks, which is kind of crazy. So in this one, high grade is $80, mid grade $20, and a low $8. Then we've got Namor, the Submariner number 1, and this is the premiere issue of the 6th solo Namor series. Maybe just a cool book to pick up if the Namor books get hot. And this is an affordable book at a high grade $10, mid grade $2, and a low grade $1. Because any book that has Namor on it will be worth more, right? If he is confirmed to be in the MCU, a book like this, maybe you pick that book up for $10. That's a book that you may be able to sell for $25, $30, $40, $50 maybe if he is confirmed, because all his titles will increase in price. And this is one that I've actually picked up a few copies of just in case, and that is Black Panther number 28, and that is Namor versus the Black Panther. High grade in this is $15, a mid grade $8, and a low grade $2. Then you've got Ultimatum number 1, and this is a 5-issue series that begins with heroes from the Ultimate Universe exploring forbidding natural disasters, including underwater volcanoes, which was mentioned at the end of Avengers Endgame. So this book in a high grade goes for $25, a mid grade $8, and a low on average is $2. And then you've got Avengers X-Men number 7, and that is Namor declares war on Wakanda and floods its capital city. Speculation that Namor is the villain, that is something that very much could happen, right? You could see that happening. There's a conflict and Namor floods Wakanda, right? So you could see that actually occurring, and so maybe that's a book, Avengers versus X-Men number 7, which currently in a high grade is $3, a mid grade $2, and a low $1. So that's something that there could be some potential spec value in. And then finally for the Namor books, New Avengers number 7, and that is Wakanda declares war on Atlantis. T'Challa. I've seen the movie 100 times and I still can't say it. T'Challa threatens to kill Namor in New Avengers number 2, 2013, for what occurred in Avengers versus X-Men number 7 and 8. So a high grade in this book is approximately $7, mid grade $2, and a low grade $1. Now, those are pretty much the books that I found, spec-wise for Namor. I really enjoyed kind of doing the research and reading about Bill Everett and, kind of how Namor started, because Namor was one of the staple characters, right, for Marvel or, for Timely Magazine in the early days. It's been a lot of fun reading about these guys and checking it out. But now you do have a couple of other characters that are rumored, and so I wanted to throw these books in here at the end. We talked about the first appearance of Namora in Marvel Mystery Comics number 82. You get her her first solo title is Namora number 1. A high grade book in this goes for about $5,000. A mid grade $900, and a low grade around $300. Then you've got Agents of Atlas #4. It's just a really dope cover featuring Namora. High value on this one, $3, mid 2, low 1. So that's an affordable book, obviously, but it's a really cool cover. And then you've got Namor #1, which is just a one-shot featuring Namora with a high of $5, a mid of 2, and a low of 1. And then wrapping up the books here is the New Avengers #10. And that's the first appearance of the 1959 Avengers: Sabretooth, Kraven, Dominic Fortune, Namora, Ulysses Bloodstone, Silver Sable. This book is a high grade, $3, a mid grade 2, and a low 1. So those are just some of the books that if Namor and Namora do turn up in the MCU, in the Black Panther movie, some books that maybe you could be kind of checking out, see if you can locate in the back issue bins, and who knows, there may be some good value to be found in some of those books. Now, obviously, some of them are just really expensive. I think once you get into the Silver Age, that's where the books become, fairly affordable, where you can actually purchase them, and you could see some, some growth, especially, like I said, if he is announced and confirmed to be in the movie. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you some ideas and maybe a little history on Namor and Namora in the comic books, and maybe some books to be on the lookout for if he is truly confirmed to be in the Black Panther movie. So yeah, man, happy specking, happy comic book hunting. Nothing better than going and diving in the back bins of the comic books. Let me know in the comments if there's any other books that you're specking on when it comes to Namor, Namora, Atua. Would love to hear about that. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Turn on that notification bell. Like I said, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. As I always end these videos, until next time.